For 12 drivers, this begins their 7-race journey to a championship. It all begins right here at the Bristol Motor Speedway for 125 laps to kick off the 2023 One-Up Nitro National Series playoffs this season. And here to bring you all the action with me is Duke Anzac once again. This is going to be a very critical race for many people's seasons, because a bad race here can put you in a deep hole that you might not be able to dig yourself out of in the last 6 races.
That's true, and this is a tone setter for the playoffs. We've come off of the regular season and everybody has finished that chapter of the season. They've all made it to this point in the year, and we've got our playoff drivers. The field is set. Everybody is here. Everybody is as close to even as they're going to be for the rest of the season. So today is the day to capitalize. It's got to be a big race for all of these drivers, and 3 of them are starting up front. However, a few others are starting out back. So today we've got a lot of drivers to watch, 12 of them, to see how they do. And we're going to be watching all throughout the field because they are scattered in the starting lineup,
which we can bring to you right now. For this 125 lap race, Logan Williams gets his 2nd pole of the season. Last time he started on pole, he went on to lead every lap at New Hampshire to win that race for his first career win. Could we see something similar here at a track that is notoriously difficult to overtake on? Alex Verjep sure hopes not, because he starts 2nd in this race, and Henry Thomas as well, who starts 3rd. Then we've got 3 drivers not racing for the championship. Shantley Daniel 4th, Aiden Smith making his Nitro National Series debut in 5th, Cam Stevens in 6th. Then you have 2 more playoff drivers, DeLello and Ironhouse, looking to have a strong day and get their playoffs off on the right foot. Ryan Reed and Miles Mashburn making an infrequent appearance in this series, completing the top 10. But you said it, we've got a lot of playoff drivers starting at the tail end of the field for this race here right now. We've got Nicky Martinez starting 30th, Riley Hooper 31st, Glenn Mixon 38th. They've got a lot of work to do to make their way to the front. Like I said, a track that's very difficult to overtake at.
Yeah, that's exactly the point I was going to bring up. Today is going to be a day where you're going to have to be aggressive. You're going to have to get up on the wheel. You're going to have to use the bumper. If you're one of those drivers that's starting in the back, especially Glenn Mixon, shotgun on the field today. He is all the way back there, and he is going to have to fight every single lap to gain those positions and gain those points back, because you've got those 3 drivers starting 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Williams, Alex Verjep and Henry Thomas all right up there. So it's a big day for them. They have a great opportunity to capitalize. They don't want to miss out on that. But those guys in the back need to fight. They need to get up to the front, and we're going to watch every step of the way and see how they do today here at Bristol.
So with that being said, we have all 42 drivers ready to go racing for the first race of the playoffs, and we're ready to get you started as well for 125 laps. This is the One-Up Nitro National Series playoff opener from Bristol Motor Speedway next. Getting ready to get the playoffs started right. It is Williams and Alex Verjep on the front row. Green flag's out for Alex Verjep. Spins the tires hard on the start. That's going to allow the entire inside line to move up 2-3 places as we barrel it off down the back straightaway.
Yeah, Alex is down to 4th after that bad restart. That's just the outside lane here really has absolutely nothing going for it on the straightaway, but Logan Williams takes the lead. He's clear for the lead now with the 12 car right behind him. Henry Thomas, another one of our playoff drivers. You can notice them by the blue accents on their cars, the spoiler, side skirts, and other various places on these cars. That's how you identify them. Right now, we've got 2 of them up front. It's Logan Williams still at the point, and Henry Thomas right behind. Boy, laps tick down fast here at Bristol Motor Speedway. This is going to be an intense race from start to finish.
Yep, so Williams and Thomas have the lead. Aiden Smith, a fantastic start for him in his first start. As Shantley Daniel hits the wall, he falls from 4th to 10th in the opening laps. But Aiden Smith, a fantastic effort in his first start. He's up to 3rd right now, ahead of Alex Verjep, who slips to 4th. Zachary DeLello gains 2 spots in the opening 4 laps.
Yeah, a great time to gain is right there on that very beginning, and that's why it gets so intense, because everybody knows you're side by side. You've got the opportunity to gain a lot of positions, and especially when that outside lane stacked up like it did, everybody on the inside really had that good opportunity there. So good on them for all capitalizing there. And now we're watching this 88 car start to scoot away just a little bit, not a lot. just a little bit ahead of that 12 car. He kind of missed the corner right there. But you're going to see it's a bottom feeder kind of racetrack here at Bristol. Everybody running on the bottom. Ooh, and we got third place sliding up a little bit there. Possibly gives Alex Verstappen an opportunity.
And Zachary DeLella behind him. Ryan Reed makes his way up to the 6th position, side by side for 7th between Stevenson and Mashburn. But we're focused on this rookie in this Moto-23, Aiden Smith. We expect him to be in this car the rest of the season, barring Homestead, of course. And this has been a great drive so far. He's had a pretty middle-of-the-road season in the Truck Series. He's made his way up to the National Series to help out Moto-Dash Racing. They're now running in 3rd. But this has been a chaotic and horrendous start for Glenn Mixon. He's now battling Kaminsky for 40th on the racetrack.
Yeah, he's got to get to the bottom of the track and fast. Looks like he might have the opportunity there. Oh, he's going to squeeze down just barely. He's going to get it right there. So now he's able to start gaining some positions by having that faster lane around the track. He's going to get 2 of them right here while the 54 goes all the way up the track. They're going to be 3 wide out of the corner almost. And Glenn Mixon is going to be in this chaos all day. He's got to get used to it. He's got to stay calm. He's got to stay collected here. And he can't get that car torn up in this race. This has potential to really put him in a deep hole to start the playoffs.
Yeah, and he just made a pass on Daytona, on our most recent winner, John McFadden, to move up into 38th. So there's still a lot of positions to be won and lost in this race. We're only on lap 13, of course. But Logan Williams and Henry Thomas, for that matter, starting to pull away from the 3rd place battle a little bit. These two are running in pretty much formation at the moment. And remember, like I said at the top of the show, last time Logan Williams started on pole, he led every lap to win the race.
That's true, and Logan Williams, he's kind of guy that's just tough to pass, you know? You don't always see him out front leading laps, but when you do, it's been tough this year to be able to get by him. So a great start from him is exactly what he needed to be able to lead this race, control the pace of everybody in this one, and just see what happens going on, and force everybody else's hand, make them play offense so that he can just have a calm, collected day out front. So right now, he's achieving that goal, and he's just riding along, counting down the laps.
Yeah, he had a fantastic run at New Hampshire, like we said earlier, to get that win. That's what helped him propel his way into the playoffs in the first place. Now, with the points reset, he's got to do it all over again, and he's doing a fantastic job doing it right now. He's led all 16 laps so far, and he's not too far away. He's only about a straightaway behind the back end of the field, so it's not going to be long before he starts putting people laps down.
Yeah, you're right, and that's going to be a critical moment of this race, and then from there on, it's going to be a completely different ball game that we've got, because right now he's able to just ride along, kind of put qualifying laps together, and stay out front. But the rest of them, of course, it's going to be tough. He's going to have to navigate through that traffic. He's going to have to avoid having people pass him from behind who are getting through traffic maybe a little bit better. And we're just going to have to see. There's going to be a lot of this race that is that they're fighting through that lap traffic, and we'll see how it all plays out.
Absolutely. It's going to be very interesting to see how this shapes up the rest of the way. Closing in on 100 laps to go, and Logan Williams has led them all, and he's starting to build a bit of a lead over even the 12 of Thomas. So fantastic running by Logan Williams to keep him ahead of the curve. Here's Alex Verstappen. He's trying to find a way around Aiden Smith, but I don't think it's going to be very easy, considering these guys are just going to be ringing the bottom all day. Unless the 23 runs wide in the corner like he did right there. It's just a matter of making one mistake, and these guys will be all over you. But it's a fantastic run by Aiden Smith to hold off some of the series best in his first ever start.
You're right. It is a great run so far for Aiden Smith, but of these top 6 or so drivers, he has been the least consistent in hitting that mark on the bottom lane. You kind of want to have those 2 left wheels in that darker groove down there, and that the tacky area of the track with the compound laid down, of course. And you know, it's just interesting to see that sometimes he's missing that and sliding up the track. It's allowing Alex to sniff down there. He hasn't had the run at the right time yet, but it might only be a matter of time before that 3 car makes its move.
Yeah, it's just a matter of wait and see, honestly, for this race, but Logan Williams has built up a seconds lead now, and that is an impressive feat. Back in the truck race, we saw this as well, although that was under different circumstances. But we had a long-time leader in that race, and I fully expect Logan Williams to lead a lot of laps here today, even if he gets caught up in lap traffic. But you see Ryan Reed, he's caught this group battling for third, so we now got a 4-car battle for the final spot on the podium here. A Toyota leading a Chevy, another Toyota, and then the Ford of Ryan Reed.
Yeah, it's true. And, you know, these guys back here, it really, all it's going to take is one mistake for somebody to start losing or gaining positions. I mean, they're all tight right with each other. They're bumper to bumper all the way around this place. And it's like it's as close as you get to a bull ring. You know, it's high speed, small area, not a lot of places to go. And especially once those lap cars start filing through here, it's going to be tough for all these drivers to hold and maintain positions like they are right now. It's like you said earlier, a waiting game at this point to see who's going to be able to pounce and when in this race. We're just completing lap 29 into lap 30. So this is going to be, I mean, we got plenty of racing to go, just less than 100 laps in this one. So it's going to be a long race for these guys. It's going to be a tough race, and they're just going to have to keep their cool.
We've got some good runs to report further back here. Cody Goforth, Elijah Ironhouse running on either side of the top 10 bubble. And this 84 car is doing a solid job as well. Started 15th, made his way up into 12th place. This is going to be, because Bristol has always been one of this team's strong suits, so it'll be interesting to see if he can hang in there all race long. But look at this. This is going to be 3 wide off the corner, and we've seen so far this weekend that leads to trouble.
Yeah, and you know, Glenn Mixon was right in there, and he has not been able to gain pretty much anything in this race so far. He started, and that's exactly where he's running still. So
he's lost a spot since the start.
He has lost a spot. And same deal here is Nicky Martinez, who started in 30th and dropping like a rock in this race right now, the 25 car, all the way back with Glenn Mixon, who's about to gain a position on her. So that's a couple of tough situations right here to start the playoffs. They're really going to have to pick up the pace.
Yeah, because Williams is so close. You see Alex Rejep-Rube's been passed by Zachary DeLello and potentially by Ryan Reed. This is going to be a loss of 2 places for the 3-car, move the 03 and the 38 up a spot each. Now, DeLello, I think he's got a good enough car if he gets past Aiden Smith to chase down the top 2. It's just a matter of how quickly he can do that. And this 3-car is actually doing a nice job on the outside, trying to hold off Reed and Stevenson.
Yeah, solid defense here. He's able to squeeze that 38 keep him off the outside lane that he wants to use in the coming out of the corner. You want to use all the track you can when you're running the bottom here at Bristol, but if you've got a car on the outside and they're squeezing you down, you just have to let off that throttle that much more, and the 3-car is doing a great job of defending that position. He's got to get back down, and he knows this is critical because if he can't get back to the bottom of the track, there is a line of cars on the bottom that are going to all go by.
But right now, the focus is on the battle for third between DeLello and Aiden Smith. This is good. Smith's never raced these guys before. He doesn't know how they drive. He doesn't know what their driving style is. Oh, man, and look at... Oh, we almost have a crash. And it's Ironhouse and Ryan Soper that almost had a crash. They somehow managed to save it, and they might have lost some track position, but they're still running in the positions they were in.
I have never seen anybody save that after hitting the wall here at Bristol on the inside lane. That's usually a disaster multi-car incident that sweeps up the rest of the field, but Elijah Ironhouse and Ryan Soper have done a great job. Not only have they saved it, but they've kept their positions, and both these cars are remaining on the track. So you can see the damage there to the 8 car after impacting the inside wall. An incredible move. I mean, that was just wild.
An incredible job of car control by those 2 guys. Amazing stuff. But you can see Logan Williams, his lead has grown. It is 1.7 seconds, and he is about to catch the tail end of the field, and that includes his fellow playoff drivers, Glenn Mixon and Nicky Martinez. This is going to be treacherous stuff, especially considering they're going 3 wide with the Daytona winner McFadden. Oh, and McFadden's in the wall.
One in the wall.
Well. That's McFadden, the Daytona winner, up into the wall. So he's going to lose several positions here. and he might even fall to last as they run right now, because Kaminsky and Kanalka are the two running at the back right now. So now Williams has officially caught the tail end of the field. I fully expect this lead will begin shrinking, especially with considering he's about to go to the outside to try and find a way around the 42.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, this is where you really need to be careful as the leader. These guys are racing furiously for these positions, and we've seen McFadden in the wall, and these guys are side by side battling it out. And as the leader, you just need to be careful getting through these guys. It doesn't matter how much time you lose anymore. You just have to just keep your car clean. Don't let anybody run you off the track. And you just got to stay up there and stay smooth. And right now, Logan Williams hasn't found a way around the 42. He's searching all over this track, trying to find an opportunity. But right now, he's doing a good job of keeping the car clean, at least.
And meanwhile, Zachary DeLello did get around Aiden Smith to move up into third. He's now closing in on Henry Thomas for the second position. And they're both closing in at a rapid rate on Logan Williams in the race lead. Ryan Reed's moved up to 5th. Alex Vajipuru settled now in 7th. Mashburn trying to get around Keon Daly for the 8th position. He does so, but Logan Williams, his gap continues to shrink. It's down to 0.8 of a second.
Boy, he is just stuck behind this 42 car. He needs to try to get low of him, but he hasn't had the opportunity. It might not be a bad idea right now to run that outside lane, chop down, and see if he can get a run down the straightaway and maybe move to the inside. He's still got enough of a gap to make something like that happen, but once that 12 car is up on his bumper, he's going to want to be glued to that bottom lane, not letting anybody get low, so that he can keep that position as the leader in this thing. We'll see if he's able to get by the 42 before the 12 gets to him.
So far, so good anyway, but it's just a matter of time, because Thomas has cut the gap now to half a second over Logan Williams. And now DeLello's within a second as well. These three cars are gaining heaps of time on the 88, and now they're all within the same shot. We couldn't say that a few moments ago. So now Thomas has cut it to within 0.3 of a second. It's just a matter of time, I feel. Now, I don't think it's going to be an easy time passing the 88, but considering how easy it was for them to catch Williams, it's just a matter of time, I feel, before somebody at least tries to make a move.
Yeah, and we're just going to have to see who is able to get through these lappers the best, and right now, nobody's been able to get through any lappers.
And we saw this in the truck race as well.
Yep, yeah, you just kind of get stopped right there, and the 42 is not going to budge, you know, and he doesn't have to. He's running on the lead lap right now, fighting to stay on the lead lap in case there is a yellow that comes out. You don't want to be caught a lap down. So the 42 not doing a single thing wrong right now, but the leader's just absolutely stuck right behind, glued to that bumper, never have enough momentum to get a run or get by. But this is going to get intense between these three, because as we've seen, you know, DeLello's been moving up the field, up through the pack, and now he's there, and the way that people are making passes throughout the rest of the field is just people sliding up, people making mistakes, and then somebody else capitalizing, and that's the biggest way to do it. So right now we're going to watch these three guys who are stuck in dirty air for the first time in the race, and they're just going to have to stay clean.
Which is not an easy task at Bristol, but these guys are going to try anyway. I think that right now the battle is really for second between Thomas and DeLello, because I don't think Thomas has got the car. He had the car to catch the 88. I don't know if he's got the car to actually take the lead himself. DeLello might. That's why he's fighting with all his strength to try and pass the 12 and see if he can mount a challenge late in the race. We're closing in on half race distance already. We're only 3 laps from halfway, and these guys are still racing within half a second of each other for the lead.
Yeah, you know, in that 12 car, he inherited that second spot on the restart, or on the start of this race. And not to say that isn't a fast car. He qualified in third. However, inheriting that spot, he hasn't really had to race for it or defend for it at all so far. And this 03 is putting up a big fight, and he's made a lot of passes today. So we'll see what happens if he is able to, if the 12 is able to keep that spot or not. He's doing a good job right now, but we'll see how long it lasts.
For sure, and these guys are all separated by 0.3 of a second. It's fantastic to watch, and you see Aiden Smith back here. He's falling into the clutches of Reed and Stevenson as well, and these two have not managed to get away from each other yet. in this race. We're going a little ways through the field now to see Joshua Michaels. He's lurking just inside the top 15. That's okay, I guess, but it's certainly not what he was looking for. But this is definitely the run that these guys all needed, because other than DeLello, none of these guys were in the championship conversation entering the playoffs. But now, as they run right now, they would be 1, 2, 3 in the championship.
It's true, yeah, and that's just how tight it is after that reset at the start of the playoffs. So we'll have 3 pretty much new contenders, if the race does play out as it has so far, and no guarantees. We're just past halfway. But this is looking very interesting, and the way that the starting lineup worked, people really struggled in qualifying, and it was so close, and they really started in the back, and that's just a real tough way to start the playoffs for a lot of guys. Automatically in a hole as soon as the race starts, with not a lot you can do, especially in a race that has so far been pretty clean and hasn't had any incidents. And here's a move for second place. They're side by side now. DeLello on the bottom of Henry Thomas. We were saying that this was not going to take all that long for this car to get by, and there it is already. The 12 has gone down to third place, and DeLello moves into second. Now what can he do with Logan Williams, our leader? We'll see, but he's been making a ton of passes today.
Both these drivers, Williams and DeLello, looking for their second career wins. Both got their first wins this season. Williams at New Hampshire, DeLello at Indianapolis. So these guys both know what it takes to get to victory lane, but neither have won on a short track so far. Williams won on the mile at Loudon, DeLello on the road course at Indy, and it looks like they're finally going to find their way past Jonas Kaminski in the 42, who rings the top, trying to stay out of the way now that he knows the game is up for him.
Yeah, and it's at long last for these drivers, but the problem is for Logan Williams that now they've got the clear path through to pass as well. It would have been really nice for him to take that position away from the 42 and then have the 42 between himself and second place. But for now, there aren't any gap cars. The 03 and the 12 have both followed him past, and now the 88's going to make a move on the 7, who's been running the top pretty much. So we'll see what happens here with the 88. If he can clear the 7 and the 7 moves low, he might have a gap car, but right now the 03 has made a great move to try to close that gap and stay within right within a car length or so, right behind that 88. He's going to go by the 7 as well.
Yeah, so that's Kanalka dealt with. Next up is John McFadden. From the highs of winning Daytona to the lows of running 40th here in Bristol. Just goes to show you that team still has a long way to go to become regular contenders week in and week out. But he's gotten a lot of attention from that win. He's gotten some offers to run Superstar next year. So impressive showing from McFadden at Daytona. That just goes to show you a little luck can go a long way.
Certainly can, and that's just what winning does in this series. You got to win races to be successful, and then put your name on the map for sure. So right now he's being talked about not for the greatest of reasons, because he's sitting here in 40th place, just in front of the leaders, about to go a lap down. But that 27 car and the driver of it as well have had their moments this season, and only up to go for that team.
Absolutely. And now he's trying to make a move on the King's Motorsports car of Martinez for 39. So that just goes to show you a BTB Motorsports car is trying to set up a pass on a King's Motorsports car. That just goes to show you the diversity and the parity of this field. As Williams goes high, this might open the door for the 03. Not quite this time.
Got a little aero tight going into the corner right there, and those front wheels just slid up the track. But he was able to hold on to it. He was able to keep his momentum up enough that the 03 wasn't able to get low. The 03 wasn't quite ready to make that move right there. So a lucky break for the 88, who keeps the lead after sliding up the track. But for now, he's got to focus on trying to get by John McFadden in the 27 car. He's got to do it quick too, because that 03 car is ready to pounce now, I'm sure, at any moment if the 88 has some trouble.
But what that did do for the 03 is it showed him a weakness in that 88 car. And that's exactly what you need at Bristol. When you know you got to pass a guy and you know it's not going to be easy, you just got to find a weakness in that car. And I'm sure DeLello found one right there in the 88. He's going to save that for future reference. and keep continuing to try and pass as we look now. And Nikki Martinez has had a wretched start to her playoffs right now, running in 39th place, about to go a lap down to the leader.
Yeah, on that point of the weakness in the 88, now the 03 knows where to charge on that car. He knows the part of the track that the 88 is likely to slip up a little bit, and it's in the entry of the corner. So if the 03 can time out all his corners so that he's slightly better than the 88 on entry, he could slip underneath easily if the 88 slides like that again. So we'll see what he's able to do after this. And now, and Logan Williams was loose off the corner, and he just got down the track. He was trying to make a move on the 27 off the corner, but he got loose underneath him, and he's able to hold on to it. But that was a big moment from our leader in this race. That's 2 now that we've seen from the 88 car. Great saves and is able to keep the spot, but a little bit troubling if you're the 88 crew or team looking at this car trying to win the race and watching him have a heck of a time around this track.
Absolutely. That could have been a make or break moment for not only his race, but his season. If you were to lose control of the car and get into the wall, and he'd go from leading this race to down in the, because remember, we haven't had any cars fall out of this race yet. He'd have fallen to complete last, and that would have picked him up only 1 point, well 2, considering he's 3 because he's led the most laps today. But that would still not have been an ideal situation. No, not at all.
Yeah, and we've talked about all these drivers, especially Nikki Martinez right now, who are in the back, and they're playoff drivers, and they're not going to earn a ton of points today, or it's at least looking like they won't. But you have to be able to capitalize, and the best way to capitalize is to keep your own car clean. And now the 03 goes up the track for just a moment, and it looks like he's going to be okay, but he did slide up the racetrack a little bit there. So now both these drivers have shown a little bit of a moment of weakness so far in this battle for the top spot, and the 03 car is able to recover just fine, but they're both just hanging on right now on lap 90 here at Bristol.
Because we've gotten to that point now, we've got 35 laps to go, where the tires are worn. The fuel load has gone down. These cars are probably not handling at their best right now. And it's all they can do to keep control right now at this point. And would you look at that? We've got a new player in the mix, Cam Stevenson, who's gotten past Aiden Smith, as has Ryan Reed. Now Stevenson has made his way up, and he's almost caught the lead trio.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, this 12 car of Henry Thomas, instead of attempting to get past the 7 car, has just started pushing him closer and closer to our leaders. So the 7 car is splitting second and third place at the moment, but they've both the 7 and the 12 have caught right up to the rear bumper of Zachary DeLello. So this could become a 3-car battle for the lead or more with Cam Stevenson on the way very soon in this race.
And I wouldn't count out Ryan Reed either. He's less than 2.5 seconds back. He could easily claw that back if these guys start fighting each other. But we're coming to 30 laps to go now, and Williams has led all of them. This is a very similar situation to what we saw at New Hampshire, and DeLello gets underneath him again, gets a little loose, has to back out of it.
Wow, what a move. So that was the same moment that the 88 had earlier, where he went into the corner, he got a little bit aero tight, those front wheels started to slide up the track slightly, and then he had the move the 03 did, but he wasn't prepared to come up off of the corner without being able to use the rest of the track. He started to slide, he got loose, and he had to save it. So the 88 survives another mistake. He stays out front of the 03, but now you have to think that the next time there's an opportunity, if there is another time for Zachary DeLello, he definitely won't mess it up a third time. So we'll see what happens, but he is absolutely prepared for that moment. He's catching right back up to the 88.
And you see Cam Stevenson back there. He's actually going past the 42, so now there's no cars in between himself and the 12. That could put the 22 in a position to steal a podium if he's lucky. But we're coming up on 25 to go. They still haven't gotten past this 27, and we've honestly seen more passing of lap cars in this race than we saw last night. And we got a smoker, and it's Martinez. Oh, and her miserable race is they finally put her out of her misery. This engine has expired on lap 100. that is going to be game over for Martinez. Her first race of the playoffs is going to have a DNF.
Wow, and that's, you have to wonder if maybe something was wrong with that car throughout the whole weekend. If it was starting to let go, they really didn't show a lot of speed here, which is uncharacteristic of that team and that car, and especially that driver. So, yeah, really tough break in the first race of the playoffs. So now the hole has been dug, and you better get your climbing shoes on, because Nicky Martinez, that's a deep hole to dig out of, especially looking at 3 playoff drivers in the top 3 in this race right now. Going to come out of here with a nice chunk of points after all this. So, yeah, Nicky Martinez has a lot. It's not impossible. Definitely not impossible.
No.
A long way to go up the ladder for Nicky Martinez.
Yeah, and we have some wild cards in this playoffs. We got the Talladega coming up. We got the Denver Road Course. Even Chicagoland next week's a bit of a mystery. So
Sure.
You never know what could happen. Martinez is not out of this yet, but there's still a long way to go. We're on lap 104 now, and Zachary DeLello, he tries to get underneath the 88. There's just no room for him right there. And now he gets pushed up a little wide, but he gets back in line very quickly.
Yeah, and that 88 car.
Oh, and we got another problem, and it's for another playoff driver, Joshua Michaels. He was tied for second going into the playoffs. Now he's got some sort of issue of the 18. So this is going to easily drop him off the lead lap. He might even fall 2 laps down. And
just the length of pit road is going to lose him a couple laps.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with that 18, but both of the Kings Motorsports cars that have made the playoffs are now going to finish in the bottom 2 positions here at Bristol.
That is incredibly disappointing for that whole organization, to come into this week and have a shot at making something happen, and then just both cars really are struggling in this one so far. That is an absolutely tough situation. Meanwhile, for the lead, Logan Williams looks like he finally has an opportunity to make a move on John McFadden for that spot. There he goes. It's a track position situation. He's trying to put him a lap down, but this is critical because he's got some open space ahead of him, and he has shown that he is able to pull away in open space. So if he can get out there, he could have a chance, but DeLello is right on his bumper, and McFadden is able to make the top work and stay ahead of Logan Williams. A huge disappointment for that 88 car. Not able to make it past the 27 in his lone opportunity he's had so far. And he keeps on fighting, but that 03 is ready to pounce.
15 laps to go for Logan Williams. He's close to another perfect day, but this time he's got a lot of stiff competition. This time from Zachary DeLello, who's been breathing down his neck for the last 60 laps or so, trying everything in his power to make a move. DeLello goes high. He might be arcing the corner, trying to get a run on the bottom. Now, DeLello trying to dive it off into turn 1 and 2. He's got a nose under him. He's got a fender on him now. This could be the move right here for the lead. DeLello underneath the 88.
Wow, he went low, and let's see if Williams can hold it on the outside lane. Who's going to lead that lap? DeLello leads it, so the perfect day is over for Williams, and he's going to lose that spot, and then he's going to lose. He almost lost a spot to the 7 as well, and now he's got to fight. Now he's got to try to get it back. He lost it, and he knows how it was done at this point, and he's got to try to get back up there. Wow, what a move from the 03.
111 consecutive laps Logan Williams led from the start of this race. That is an incredible feat, but it's all over now. But Zachary DeLello is taking the lead. Let's see if he can hold on to it. We've got now 11 laps to go at the line.
Wow, and Logan Williams, obviously he still has a shot, but right now he's got to be feeling disappointed. But he also has to be motivated. He has to go up there and try to get that spot away from the 03 car as he tries to fight to get by the 27, who is significantly slower than both of them. We've seen it so far. As they've been trying to pass him, he's just barely fast enough to stay ahead of both of these cars. But yeah, Logan Williams now, he's got to do it quick because the laps are ticking away.
9 laps to go now, and McFadden is actually now helping Williams by keeping DeLello behind him. Now he's actually got a chance to get back by the 03. But if the 03 gets by McFadden here in these final 8 laps, it would probably be game over because it takes so long to set up a pass here.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the 03 has got to be fighting desperately to get by the 27. You wonder when that desperation is going to hit the limit and possibly have the bumper be hit as well with that. And we'll see what happens there. But it's going to be tight and it's going to be close between these two drivers at the end. I just know it. They're both still the fastest two cars in this race by a lot. And they're both fighting for the win.
Up top four now, within a second of the lead with 6 laps to go. DeLello doing everything he can to try and hang on, get his playoff started in the perfect way. Logan Williams doing everything he can to try and recover an almost perfect day for the Team Duke 88. But with now 5 laps to go, he's running out of time. We only have about 2.5 miles to go to settle this race.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, DeLello has been incredibly impressive today. He started in 7th place at a track where we've been talking about it all day and we've been watching it. It's extremely difficult to pass here, and he was able to move all the way from 7th up now to the lead. It took him 115 laps to get there, but he did it. He was able to make the move. He did it all clean, and he got up there, and right now he's got the fastest car in this racetrack. Logan Williams is losing time to him, so even if he does slide up the track, the 88 isn't going to have that same opportunity that the 03 did when the 03 was just hounding Logan Williams for the lead, and he was right up on his bumper waiting to pounce, and he made it happen at long last, and Logan Williams just can't keep up anymore.
With 2 laps to go, this is 1 more mile for Zachary DeLello to get that second career win that Logan Williams thought he was going to get for so long. But we're coming to the white flag right here. DeLello finally gets underneath McFadden on the white flag lap. This is where he's going to make it happen right here. DeLello gets underneath McFadden. And coming down the back straightaway for the final time, Logan Williams led 111 laps. We thought he was going to get a second win, but it's going to go to this guy instead. Zachary DeLello off of turn 4 takes the checkered flag at Bristol Motor Speedway for his second career win. He gets it. He stole it, really, from a dominant Logan Williams who led so much of this race. But both of those guys should be commended for their runs today. They're going to be 1-2 in the championship now, as will Henry Thomas for finishing 3rd. He'll be 3rd in the championship as well. Cam Stevenson and Ryan Reed's good runs for non-playoff drivers, 4th and 5th, and Keon Daly for 6th. Miles Mashburn, Ryan Soper gets his second top 10 of the season and 8th after that near crash with Ironhouse. He managed to claw his way up to 8th. Aiden Smith, a respectable debut for him in 9th. Aiden Clare, we didn't mention him all day, and he stole the final spot in the top 10. That just goes to show you how crazy and unpredictable this race at Bristol can be. But we knew it was a possibility. We knew even while Logan Williams was leading all those laps, he could be toppled, and with just 14 laps to go, he was.
Yeah, certainly. And it's just a really tough deal for Logan Williams. I mean, huge disappointment, I'm sure, from that team, but they really have a lot to hold their heads high about. And Zachary DeLello, wow, what a performance from that car today, and that whole team to set up that car, bring it to Bristol, put yourself in 7th place on the grid, and then just drive up through the field for the entire race and get the win. Claw and fight for the whole way and just be there at the right time to make that move. And I'll tell you what, that car this season in the playoffs is going to be tough. We've seen it all year out of them. That 03 car might only have 1 win this year, but he has always been there in the fight. And to start the playoffs with a win, that's a huge momentum booster, confidence booster, and that team is going to be tough to beat.
Yep, and that's his second win of the season, and let's see if he can go back-to-back at Chicagoland in a few weeks. That's going to be quite exciting. So from Duke Anzac and from myself as well, we say goodbye from the last great Coliseum at Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll see you again in a few weeks at Chicagoland for race number 2 of the playoffs. And congratulations to Zachary DeLello. He bided his time. He waited 114 laps, but finally, he got the job done, and he is the man in victory lane at the end of the day.